this was kind of a long time coming and planning this little get together because Steve loves to tell people when they admire his work, I want to be an artist when I grow up. And he's been saying that a long time, and so it dawned on me, oh, wait a second, he's turning 65. So my evil plan was to acknowledge his birthday.
I don't want to grow up though.
And acknowledge, he is still refusing, by the way, so I think that's a good thing. He came here in his Camaro, if you all saw it. I think
Yeah, we seen that.
He can't even latch. He has a bungee cord to hold the door. So
That worked out good. You pull a bungee cord in front of you, you got to sleep.
But Steve has been working with wood, loving on wood for decades. And for those of you who have been to our house, we have what I call the sunrise room, that when we met on the dating website, one of the pictures he had on his profile was of that room, which is just barn wood and shutters and old wood he'd collected for a long time, that he doesn't have that room painted. It's just all of this collage of beautiful wood. And I said to Brenda, that was when Linda and I had been out of our house because we got flooded out of our rental house. So I was living with Brenda at the time, and I said to her, what kind of a weirdo would have a picture of wood on his profile? Little did I know, this package existed.
We get on the computer looking for a girl anyway.
I love that. So I would come over, he had two walls done, and I would come over on the weekend, and he had made progress, and I was like cheering him on, right? And the next week I come back, and it was taken off. And I'm like, what happened? He goes, it didn't feel right. It just wasn't the right pieces for the right. Well, finally, this is a big lesson for me, because those of you who know me, how not controlling, how capable I am.
It's leadership.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I said to him, could we just finish that room? He goes, why do you want to finish it so bad? I said, so we can enjoy it. He goes, well, why don't we enjoy it now?
That's it.
And so it really got me to thinking about how I was not living in the now. I was always living for what I finished, what I accomplished, and there's nothing to any of that. So now I stop and smell the roses, and he made me a new garden just last month. For some of you who haven't been there lately, he's made me a new garden. And I just really have never met anyone like him. I respect him, I admire him, I love him, I appreciate him. I'm amazed by what he can create. And we had a game night, a few of you were there in January, and he said, do you need any help setting up for game night? And I said, no, and he goes, I think I'll go downstairs and make a table. And he made this monkey table in just a little while. And he came up and he said to me, oh my gosh, it's a French monkey. It has a mustache. He sees things that most people don't see. So today, you'll see some of his pieces. Some of them have prices. Some of them he's like, oh, I might not want to sell that. Oh, I'm not going to put a price on that. But really, he is ready. And we are going to list it. We're going to two consignment stores. Jennifer's going to teach me how to do Marketplace. Jennifer and Mandy are going to teach me how to do Marketplace, and maybe Etsy and a couple of other sites. There's a real artist site that he found that will probably be there. So, just appreciate everything that he is, and why we're here today is to acknowledge Steve. And now I'd like to ask Reverend Linda to say a blessing for Steve. And for those of you who don't know Reverend Linda, I met her at Sandy Springs Christian Church when I worked there. And when my friend Linda and I had gotten flooded out of our rental house, Linda said, come live in my guest house. So my front yard was a beautiful swimming pool. So I lived, in the guest house behind, and she rescued me. But she has been an inspiration to me for years. And most recently, can I tell them how old you are?
Tell her about tell them about taking her zip line.
We went ziplining. We went ziplining 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And she's a good sport, and she did it, and she did a beautiful job at
I'm a
it.
77-year-old great-grandmother.
So I'd just like to thank Linda for saying a few words for Steve, and I'll turn it over to you.
Sharon said she wanted me to say a blessing of sorts, and I'm not going to anoint you and send you crazy or anything like that. Boy, is he sweating.
We need to put some air in here, don't we?
Jennifer, can you open the door?
But the truth is, I think whenever
Thank you.
Whenever we are gathered with people who are friends or who are family, with people that we love, whenever we are in the presence of beauty, whenever we are humbled by the gift of artistry that someone has, whenever we are touched by a moment that just happens to be one of those kinds of things that happen when the world stops spinning and we recognize and our hearts are filled with gratitude. And I think when we are here and we see the love between these two, when we see what he creates from things that I would probably throw by the side of the road and hope somebody picked up, he would come along and pick up, because he would be, I think Michelangelo is the one who could take a slab of rock and he could visualize what he could create of beauty of that. And you do that with wood. You do make whimsy to make us laugh and smile. And some of your whimsy is really outrageous. Like that gunny woof thing that when they come down the driveway.
Oh yeah, Malian.
And who would have a Japanese redneck garden? So you just delight us, you tickle our humor, that blesses us with your smile. You love our Sharon, Sharon loves our Steve, and that has been such a blessing to witness the gift you are to one another. That's pretty special. And so the blessing is not necessarily a blessing on all we hope this room can represent. It's not really just a blessing upon you and you. You've done a good job. It's really a blessing on all of us, that we are part of the witness of this, and we are part of the joy of this moment. And the sweat and the tears that are lingering are part of the love that they feel for all of us and our pride in them. Sharon also asked if I could come up with a Bible verse when I thought of Steve. Well, there were a few, I'm not going to
I get that.
But actually in Psalms 1, there is a verse that says, "Blessed is the man who loves the Lord and obeys his commandments." We'll skip a couple of those.
Yeah.
Obeys his commandments. He is like a tree planted by water that blossoms in its season. And I thought, how perfect, since you are so rooted in the soil that you have and what you have made of your property. You're rooted in the hearts of all of the people who are here. And you take trees. You are like that sees the beauty in people and in things that we don't. When you read that little bio that is written there, you'll see, oh, quit y'all. Y'all will see all the many wonderful gifts that Steve brings to so many things that he does with art. And so, Steve, instead of blessing you, you are a blessing to us, and we are grateful.
There you go.
But something seems to be amiss.
Uh-oh.
I mean, after all, we are celebrating the fact that he is stepping into advanced maturity. And claiming that he is finally, at long last, after all these years, some of which you've spent just creating some of these pieces, he is an artist. So I felt like we should perhaps, are we ready? He needs to be dressed a bit. An artist needs a 1960s era smoking jacket.
Oh yeah.
Especially.
It is
After all, He is a hot smoking artist.
Now
This
he
is
looks
one of
like
my
one.
favorite things I picked up.
Yeah, I like that. And then I think maybe there's some
Oh no.
Wish you had a winter birthday.
Yeah.
Do you think is the picture finished or is something not quite right?
I'm getting worried.
I don't know. May I present? Let us toast to the redneck artist.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday